again, maybe a little bit of what you're talking about. Just his first match, tournament that he hasn't played for a couple of years, just trying to get settled in, really. I don't think hitting 1 or 2 tins in this first game is going to deter him.
No, absolutely not. And he's got a good little cushion as well. Oh, some tight work. That's a great shot. Lots of head nodding there as Rooney was clattering around in the back corner. It's always a nice feeling when your opponents sort of, well, you don't want them to be hurt.
If Rooney gets this game, Rooney's the type of player that once he starts to get confident,
wow, like that, his tail will go up.
Yeah,
and that was really well anticipated. I mean, it was slightly shallow,
really, to have enough space to swing,
and it all happened very quickly, as you'd expect between these two. So into the tie break in this first game.
He's finding his length on the forehand side, Declan. Right there. Rooney probably wants to keep it off this forehand. Quite a bit of contact. Rooney's doing well at going round. Yeah,
well, I think after that last decision as well, what a shot!
That's a great shot.
After that last decision, he's got to go and play the ball. Anything slightly on. It's been a long time actually since he has spoken to me in between games, but he just keeps it very simple.
Yep.
You know, like he does with his coaching day to day. It's always very simple. I'm sure it hasn't changed. Oh, that's a big first game. You heard the roar from Declan James, one of the contenders.
Yeah, I think psychologically as well, Declan taking that game will be a bit of a blow for Patrick.
Yeah, and also, it seems obvious, but a lift for Dec.
Yeah, I think it's just relief, isn't it? And as you know, like playing first round of any tournament, just getting that first game under your belt is a massive relief, and you can sort of start to let your game flow a little bit more after that.
Absolutely, that is wonderful touch from Patrick Rooney to get his first point on the board in the second game. Couldn't be any more accurate.
Right. Doesn't know that.
It's just one of those things. Again, the top players just deal with it, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing you can do about it once the decision's given, is there? Was he? Oh, he's got it.
That is really the agility there from Pat Rooney.
Do you think some of these situations here at the front and kind of around this backhand area could be too little, too late?
Well, you know what it's like, don't you? When you go far down, you can really relax and play some tremendous stuff, and you often wonder why you don't do it earlier on in the game.
Yeah, he's doing that now. 2 feet off the ground to be soon.
No, he'll wait till match ball down.
Wait till match ball down and then play 4 of the best shots of his life, probably. These are pretty hard movements by Rooney. He's not really showing any signs of slowing down. That's a great pickup.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
James reaches that one. Some brutal movements from both players. It's fired in really well from Declan James. Really positive. As we say, one of his favourite areas there around the short line. 5 match balls for Declan James. One of the favourites for this year's AJ Bell 2020 Nationals, and a great chance for him to go through in 3, and he does it. A very, very impressive performance in the end from Declan James.
I think his brother's I'd say a bit more attritional than Charlie, but I think Charlie's got more quality going in short. I'd say maybe he'll become more attritional. as he gets older, but he's definitely got the game to kind of push Willstrop up the court if he gets a chance.
Yeah. Can't leave him there. And that's one of the hardest things. 1904. The father, and then Jolie, Charlie's older brother. I think probably 10 or 15 years ago. 10 years ago, maybe.
2 wins.
Was actually.
Yes.
It was.
Yes, Parky.
Wasn't expected to beat Danny though.
Oh, that's nice.
At the time. That's a beautiful flick.
Classic Holden flick.
Yeah. Classic Willstrop.
Oh, there it is. Up again. Flashing that ball across the top of the tin.
Well, he makes it look easy, doesn't he? It just winners come for fun, and 6 game balls now for the marksman, the defending champion here in Nottingham.
Nice no-let to finish.
Nice no-let. Not for Charlie Lee.
Wait a shot as well, though, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, that is great.
It's a joke. He's got it, though.
Unbelievable stuff. Strong volley there from Lee. Just makes you go forward, doesn't he, Willstrop?
Yeah.
You have to cover the front corners because he's so good there, and then he's got that option of holding in and flicking long. And whatever he does is it's a good call, especially someone so young as well. He could be taking the baton, as it were. Oh wow! It's just awareness, isn't it, and the calmness to be able to just keep redropping. So 3 game balls for Willstrop to take a 2-love lead. Very rare, that error from Willstrop. Just clipping the top of the tin. Another thing about Willstrop is, much like Federer in tennis, you very, very rarely see him off balance. Even when he's making a mistake, he looks majestic.
A majestic mistake.
Wish I could say that about myself.
He never often plays it.
I think everything he does, it's much the same as Nick Matthew did, but in a very different way, a different style, and that is playing with purpose.
Yeah.
Every shot. And that's it. The defending champion. Very, very clinical, impressive performance from the Yorkshireman, taking out Charlie Lee, who played pretty well. He's got to be proud of himself there. He's playing against the mark. You can tell he popped his head into the commentary area and he looked very excited.
Yeah, he's had some food. He's had a massage as well, so he's feeling good. Just talking about that backhand drop there.
Well, that was actually
Lovely.
obviously no disguise. Yeah, perhaps technique. Although, as we keep saying, it served him well in a few areas, like deception and being unique and that disguise. But only works to a certain level, I think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
In terms of getting over the line, I mean, you know, I've seen him trouble top 10, 20 players, even get the odd win.
Pick that up.
But it's just not an easy thing to do, is it? Breaking into the
No,
top
well,
20. You need everything
in
from
the
Clyne. Just not doing anything particularly amazing, but he's keeping the ball above the tin, which is more than you can say for Nick Wall a couple of times in that game. Unforced errors. And do you think about what you're doing when you play?
try to, but a lot of the time,
Sometimes overthink.
definitely overthink. Yeah.
Should have gone straight there, Nick Wall.
I'm not sure it's too much of a problem, you know, giving Alan like angles, because he does his best attacking work when it's on the counter, doesn't he? When it's straight. A bit fortunate there, but he's still got to be careful, Nick, because he wants to stay in front, and if he gives Alan too many angles to hit deep and keep Nick behind him, he's not going to.
It's a poor shot. He's very frustrated with himself, as he should be there. Nick Wall, it was right onto his racket. You'll know this. Sam Todd beat Nick Wall recently in 5. Was that in a PSA?
Yeah, it was in Denmark. I think it was
semis, was it? Quarters?
10k in Denmark, semis. And then Sam lost to
Herrevagen.
Jan Van in 5 as well. Which is a good result, really.
Yeah, starting to
16-year-old.
make a difference against some very senior players.
Yeah.
Would that be the first win for Todd against Nick Wall?
Potentially, yeah.
Obviously, it's without learning from bad experiences, or not bad, but disappointing experiences, should I say? And he's got a great coaching team, and his dad, as you know, is a good player himself, very experienced. He's been playing most of his life, but he'll be disappointed with an unforced error to finish as well. But as you alluded to, that's his style of game, Nick Wall. He likes to attack. He's got a little bit of flair, but wasn't able to use it as much as he would have liked.
Final year, I can tell you it was so raw when he first came there, both technically and what he did. But you could always see in him that he had a real hunger to succeed, and also obviously the raw physicality. But he's just added such a level of skill set on top of all of that. It's been so nice to watch each layer develop and him add more and more to his game from when I first saw him play, actually. Where do you see him going over the next year? I know he's one of the ones that people keep sort of spotting as on the rise. Have you got?
I see him going up, but I think it'll still be fairly gradual. Like obviously, the higher you go, the harder it is to move up each position, and it's going to be slower. That kind of quality. He's not that kind of player. He's somebody that works hard, really hard. And just talking earlier, he's probably the most improved kind of player who wasn't particularly that great a junior, who's now in this position where he's 11 in the world and #1 seed in the nationals. I was talking to somebody earlier about other players like that, like Mark Challoner. Some of the older people watching might remember my generation, who was not a bad junior, but certainly not one of the best, and then got to 5 in the world. I mean, another example is Pete Nicol as well, who wasn't a great junior. I think obviously, going back to the question, Joe Makin's sights will be extremely high. He wants to get to that #1 position. Why not? That's a poor error from Sam Todd at the end. Like he's got the right attitude on and off the court. I know him a little bit from when he was a young kid, and he's a friendly guy, and he seems to take it overly seriously. What a shot. I mean, that's what you call relaxed, isn't it? Relaxed. Lee Drew enjoyed that one. No response from Malcolm.
Mick gave it.
Great volley in there. Great pressure from Todd. He's not being overawed here. Great balance. Phenomenally quick and strong.
it's where your combinations become so important. I feel you've got to get runs of pressure, and you've got to understand where you're going to potentially really try and expose someone, but also then regroup and find that space off it. It's interesting watching a bit of Nick Wall and Alan Clyne from the balcony. I just didn't quite feel Nick got enough of that against Alan, who's obviously a very attritional player. Another exciting English talent in Nick. But I don't know what you thought in the commentary box watching that one.
Yeah, just wasn't quite sort of penetrating the corners for a start, and then caps were few and far between, because Alan Clyne played really well, I thought, negating Nick Wall's talent, because he does have some flair, but he just wasn't allowed to use it, was he? And it was a sign of a really experienced pro from Alan Clyne. Joel Makin doing a similar sort of job here. But much better in this second game from Todd. Oh, could be a stroke. I thought that popped up. Joel Makin, it's the first time he's been seeded 1 in this event. He's never won the event before.
He was obviously injured last year, wasn't he, Parky?
Yeah.
So he was coming in probably as a favourite when the draw was released, and then had to pull out last year. So first time we've really seen Joel at the level that we now know Joel at this event.
Well, he had like a bit of a practice.
That's where he's really developed. I think he's become a lot more clinical and stuff like that. When he's got an opportunity, he's making the most of it. That's probably been Joel's biggest gain over a period of time, last sort of 6-12 months.
Oh wow! I mean, it has to be that good, doesn't it? Is that Mick?
I haven't heard too many sambos yet, but
it's because he hasn't got his punting
right around the side of that. It's lovely.
1 game ball saved. Yeah, that's the right decision. I don't think there was any effort there. There was contact. Sam Todd improving his attritional and defensive play and strength. Fortunately for Todd, that's where you just he'll see first-hand Harden Pro on the court there. What Harden Pro does in these kind of situations.
Positive, I think, is that the response in the third, massive positive there. I think the other thing that's positive is the intensity that Joel's got. There we go, but and how he's not got leggy.
That was impressive from both players. Sam Todd gently punches the back wall, slightly disappointed with himself, but he's done himself proud. He's had some good wins here, coming through to this stage, and he's taken a game off.